Hello, I'm Atu Jamir and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9. Now, headlines. The Yimkyong Tribal Council has reminded the state government to declare Shamator as district without any condition on or before December 31st. Karnataka Assembly has passed a contentious anti-conversion bill titled Protection of Rights to Freedom of Religion Bill 2021. Minister Ashwadhanariya said this was a much-awaited bill that will create harmony in society. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit out at the opposition parties saying the dictionary contains Mafiavad and Parivarvad. He said BJP's priority is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Congress delegation constituted over the Nagaland Killing submitted its report to Congress Interim President Sonia Gandhi. The Karnataka Assembly on Thursday passed a contentious anti-conversion bill titled Protection of Rights to Freedom of Religion Bill 2021. Amid uproar from opposition, Minister Ashwadhanariya said this was a much-awaited bill that will create harmony in society. It will facilitate transparency and accountability. It is a forward-looking bill that will address many challenges being currently faced. The minister was quoted as saying by news agency ANI on the legislation's passage in the Assembly. During discussion on the bill, the opposition Congress seemed to be on back foot with Basavaraj Bommai-led government claiming the legislation had been initiated by a grand old party with Siddaramaiah in the Chief Minister's chair. The ruling camp also placed documents to support its claim before the House.
और साथ ही साथ जहां जरूरत नहीं थी वहां से एक्सप्रेसवे मोड़ करके लाए। इसके अलावा इनके लोगों ने वहां सस्ते में किसानों से ज़मीनें खरीद ली। 10 रुपये की उसका 10 गुना 15 गुना ज़मीन हुआ इन्होंने किया। तो जहाँ तक अयोध्या की बात इसमें घपला नहीं है। वो जो आया है कि किस अधिकारी ने क्या ज़मीन खरीद लिया, किस आदमी ने खरीद लिया, किस अफसर ने जो भी खरीदा, योगी सरकार ने उसमें ऑर्डर किया, जिसमें सरकार की अपनी कोई भूमिका नहीं है। और जो उसमें दोषी पाएगा वो दोषी सरकार, ये योगी सरकार उसको छोड़ने वाली नहीं है, कार्रवाई होगी। और फिर कहता हूं, प्रियंका गांधी को बोलने का कोई हक नहीं है। राम मंदिर पर जिनको पार्टी उसका अस्तित्व ही अस्वीकार करती थी।
The Yimkyong Tribal Council or YTC has written to the Chief Minister of Nagaland demanding that the Shamator Additional Deputy Commissioner headquarters be upgraded to a district headquarter. The council issued a copy of a representation addressed to the Chief Minister. The YTC reminded the Chief Minister to declare Shamator district without any condition on or before December 31st as per commitment made by the state government. The statement also mentioned an agreement in principle for give and take commitment in the presence of the Chief Minister's cabinet colleagues and senior party leaders. Failure at fulfilling the aspirations of the Yimkyong people within this stipulated time will compel recourse, the statement implied.
President of emergency order lahabo. Aro situation to public la hati lagai dibo. Chalo! Laige! Yimkyong manu to naga manu hoy. Yimkyong to Nagaland the threat no na ke. Ami han muri lebe khara korobo. We won. Government ami kangi ki goshe. Anopos MLA ami kangi divi goshe. Aro eto butli Samudar district lobi ami kangi eto commitment goshe. Dala cabinet laga prasasti. Dala senior party leader prasasti. Amira church worker campus leadership members. Ida dandi kota la kona.
To get more details on this, we'll speak to our colleague, Elf, joining us from the newsroom. So thank you so much, Elf, for joining us again.
Hello to
Okay, so getting into the discussion, we'd want to know since when Shamator has been, asking or demanding for a district. Could you please throw some light on the history?
Yeah, thank you. Over the past about 10 years, we have been hearing a lot about communities and groups in some of the districts in Nagaland seeking creation of districts for their areas. And one of them is Shamator. And today they had a rally in which they demanded that they be given a district status as assured by the state government. Now I've read over a bit, and even during the past 15 years or so in the media, I've not really come across any historical record or any kind of reference in regard to when the demand for a Shamator district started. But I think it's believed that it started around 2007. And interestingly, it was during that time there was a community clash in Tuinsang at the time. And there are people saying that it actually started from somewhere during that time, but I'm not really sure. A report in the Telegraph in 2011 also mentioned the people of Shamator district demanding a district of their own. So right now we have no clear records, but it is understood somewhere it started in around the 2007 and 2008 years during that period.
And also, as mentioned in a report, the YTC, while demanding, did state about a commitment made by the state government. So, could you please tell us more about this commitment made by the state government?
Yeah, Atu, it's a very interesting angle to the whole situation that we have right now. If we can recall our discussions earlier, out of three districts, there was one that we were all taken by surprise, Chumugidima. So in regard to Shamator, they have been demanding for many years now, but since they were not given the status of a district, they're taking out rallies, and I think they're going to intensify it. Now, the Yumkum Tribal Council, they issued a statement today, and they spoke about a commitment given by the state government. And in the statement, there is a hint that some kind of an agreement took place between the state government and the community leaders of Yumkum. Now, the statement does not say exactly when the agreement was taken between the two sides, and they don't really specify anything, but there is a hint here. I will just read it out from the statement here. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here and there. So yeah, it stays like this. The people of Yumkyungru gave you what you asked for in lieu of Shamator district. So this is addressed to the Chief Minister of Nagaland. The people gave you what you asked for. And then the council asks again, did we not agree in principle a give and take commitment in the presence of your cabinet colleagues and senior party leaders? So the council here is saying, we gave you what you asked for, but you're not giving us what you promised to give us. Now, we don't know what the chief minister or the government promised the people of Shamator. We don't know. Votes, schemes, development, we don't know. It's not specified here, but there certainly was some kind of an exchange of value here, an exchange of commitment that if one person did something for the other, the second person would give this or that. So based on this, the community is urging that the state government should consent to their demand.
Right. Also, if our viewers remember, we had this discussion about the districts, the creation of new districts on December 18 when Chumut, Simbinu and Newland were, declared districts. And we talked about, when is, what are the criteria that the place has to cover, to be, so that it will be declared a district, or, so that it can be declared a district. So when we talk about Shamator, so, does it meet the criteria there?
That's a very good question. In Nagaland, we have very big districts and with large populations, And small districts or small areas with large population, for example, there are discrepancies in the population, in the ratio and infrastructure. But as we have discussed earlier, there are no really specific constitutional guidelines where you can actually say this can be made a district, this can be made into a subdivision. It all depends on the health or financial health of the state government, for example. And then there is the condition of infrastructure in that area, and population, of course, and financial consideration, of course. But like I said, there are no clear-cut constitutional guidelines where you have to follow it strictly. The smallest state, the smallest district in India is Mahe, which is about barely 9 kilometers long. So there are no specifics to creation of a district. It only needs an executive order, of course, consultation in the assembly too. But mostly what states do is that you have to go through the executive, that is the chief minister, the government, the home department, for instance, and you only have to pass an executive order. If you feel that there is infrastructure required to start a district there, or if you feel the population is too less or too big again. So there are a lot of variables here which you have to take into account. But basically, it's an executive order or a state assembly legislation to create a new district.
Right, also talking about declaration of places as districts. So, you know, when Chumu, Newland, and after Chumu, Atsiminu, and Newland were declared districts, we also know that there are other places that are demanding districts, like Bandari for the longest time, and also Mangkolamba and Tuli, and so many other places as such. And now, as we see that Shamator is also putting the pressure on the government to declare the district again. So, do you think, you know, the declaration of the 3 districts in the past few days, this would create again a pressure on the government from the other places as well to, you know, in demanding a district?
Definitely, Atu. The pressure will be great on the government now that we are still yet to recover from the shock of some names that crop up recently when they added 3 more districts to the state of Nagaland. We have 15 more, and if you really look back, you will see that the number of areas and people in Nagaland who want a district, they are not few, there are many, just like you mentioned just now, from Aboy in Mon to Mangilomba in Moshong and Pandari in Woka, for example. These are areas that have been demanding the status of district for a long time now. Now that the state government has already declared 3 new districts, of course, the pressure will be very high, and the pressure is not just related to how the community will react to you if you don't give them the status of a district. There are also political implications here. For example, the government will be pressured right now because the state assembly elections are just right around the corner, and you don't want to make your voters unhappy. That's not something you want to do right now, especially. But then again, the government will also be pressured because just because you have the elections nearby and you're pressured to garner on your, you are pressured to build on your vote base, it doesn't mean you have to accede to them. We are a small state. We already have 15 districts, and I'm not very sure that the government would lightly, you know, take this into consideration to give just about everyone the demands that they have. And there are also administrative challenges, financial challenges. It will take a toll on the state's exchequer also. You need a big bank account for this, actually. It will mean a bigger budget, bigger stat plan outlay, and God forbid, bigger deficit later. So the challenges are huge, not only financial, administrative, or political. So the pressure definitely, yes, Atu. It will be very great on the state government right now.
We could say that everything comes with the pros and cons, so there's always pros and cons to that. Okay, thank you so much, El, for joining us today.
Thank you, Atu. Thank you.
Now moving on to the next news. Addressing a rally after inaugurating and laying foundation stones of 27 projects worth Rs 2,095 crore in his Varanasi parliamentary constituency, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday hit out at the opposition parties in the state, saying their dictionary contains Mafiavad and Paryavavad, but for us, the priority is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. This is Modi's second visit to his constituency in 10 days. He was here on December 13 to inaugurate the Kasi Vishwanath corridor. He laid the foundation stone of the Banas Dairy Sankul at a UP State Industrial Development Authority Food Park in Varanasi. He also digitally transferred Rs 35 crore bonuses to the bank accounts of more than 1.7 lakh milk producers associated with Banas Dairy and laid a foundation stone for a biogas-based electricity generation plant for the Milk Producers Cooperative Union Plant in Ramnagar.
उनके सिलेबस में क्या है, उनकी डिक्शनरी में क्या है, उनकी बोलचाल में क्या है, उनकी सोच में क्या है, आप सब जानते हैं। उनके सिलेबस में है माफियावाद, परिवारवाद, उनके सिलेबस में है घरों जमीनों पर अवैध कब्जा। पहले की सरकारों के समय यूपी के लोगों को जो मिला और आज यूपी के लोगों को हमारी सरकार से जो मिल रहा है, उसका फर्क साफ है, उसका फर्क साफ है।
The Ministry of Home Affairs has sought a report from Punjab on the explosion in Ludhiana District Court complex on Thursday, said sources. One person has been killed and 2 others were injured in the explosion at Ludhiana District Court complex. Ludhiana Commissioner of Police Gurpreet Singh Bular informed that the explosion was heard near the record room on the 2nd floor of the Ludhiana Court complex. Further details are awaited. The centre's latest advisory came on a day the country registered a significant rise in daily COVID-19 figures along with the spread of the highly contagious Omicron variant of the virus. A review meeting was held during the day with a number of states including Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Uttarakhand and Goa. Gearing up for assembly elections early next year, campaigning has begun full throttle in several places and rallies have started witnessing large gatherings, any of which may turn into a potential hotspot for coronavirus spread. The centre on Thursday after the administration of poll-bound states to exponentially ramp up vaccination against COVID-19, especially in districts that have seen low coverage so far and protect the vulnerable population. Congress delegation constituted over the Nagaland Killing submitted its report to Congress Interim President Sonia Gandhi on Thursday. A firing incident by security personnel had left 14 civilians dead in 2 separate incidents that occurred earlier this month and also led to the death of security personnel in a mob attack in Dizit area of Mon district in Nagaland. Following the incident, Union Home Minister Amit Shah had termed the killing of civilians by security forces in Nagaland as a case of mistaken identity and said that a special investigation team has been formed with direction to submit its report on the unfortunate incident within 1 month. In a breakthrough in the long-standing interstate boundary disputes between Assam and Meghalaya, the respective chief ministers on Wednesday held a meeting and decided to resolve the issues at 6 areas on or before January 15 as a part of Phase 1 discussion. A meeting was held at a political level with the Assam counterpart on the border issue, taking the 6 areas of differences for Phase 1 discussions. Konrad Sangma tweeted, "They have made considerable positive progress through their joint dialogue and hope to arrive at an amicable solution shortly," Konrad Sangma tweeted. After the meeting, Meghalaya Deputy Chief Minister Preston Tiangson said it was a very productive and good meeting and the CMs have decided to make an announcement on or before January 15. There are disputes in 6 areas and he is sure that they will be able to find a solution in at least some areas, he added. The regional committees have submitted their reports and the sides are working towards a final agreement on many disputed border areas. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said there is confidence that gradually they will be able to resolve all long pending borders issues with Meghalaya and other neighboring states, Himanta Biswa Sarma tweeted. Dry Days have been declared in Meghalaya's entire East Khasi Hills district on account of Christmas and New Year. All shops, home delivery licenses, canteens and outstill will remain closed. According to an order by the Office of the Deputy Commissioner, Excise, the Dry Days have been declared on December 24 and 25 and also on January 1st, marking the occasion of Christmas and New Year respectively. The order was released on December 20. The Central Bureau of Investigation has arrested 11 more persons, including businessmen and Pearl's group employees in connection with the Rs 60,000 crore Pearl Ponzi scheme case. The 11 persons have been identified as Chander Bhushan Dhillon, Prem Seth Manmohan, Kamal Mahajan, Mohan Lal Shejpal Kanwalijit Singh Tur, all from Pearl Groups, Praveen Kumar Agarwal, Manoj Kumar Jain, Akash Agarwal, Anil Kumar Khemka, Subhash Agarwal, Rajesh Agarwal, all businessmen from Delhi, Chandigarh, Kolkata and Bhubaneswar. The agency had earlier registered a preliminary inquiry on the directions of the Supreme Court against Pearl Groups, which had allegedly collected around Rs 60,000 crore from around 5 crore investors all across the country by illegally operating different investment schemes. The group had no statutory approval and its intention was to cheat the investors. The accused had given land guarantee to the investors to lure them. India has recorded 236 cases of the Omicron variant of coronavirus across 16 states and union territories so far, out of which 104 people have recovered or migrated, according to the Union Health Ministry data. Maharashtra has recorded the maximum of 65 cases of the Omicron variant, followed by Delhi at 64, Telangana at 24, Karnataka at 19, Rajasthan 21 and Kerala at 15. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority had announced on Wednesday that no event or gathering to celebrate Christmas or New Year will be allowed in the city. DDMA said that as per its order dated December 15, all social, political, sports, entertainment, cultural and religious events are prohibited and no gatherings can be held. Amid the threat of Omicron variant of coronavirus, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Thursday said that the Delhi government is prepared to handle 1 lakh COVID-19 cases daily and has created a capacity to conduct 3 lakh tests every day. Addressing a press conference after a high-level meeting with officials on COVID-19, Kejriwal urged people to stay at home in isolation and not to rush hospital if they experience mild symptoms. The authority has created a capacity to conduct 3 lakh tests daily, and with its preparations, Delhi can handle as many as 1 lakh daily cases if such a situation arises, he said, adding that the authorities are also strengthening the home isolation management protocols.
अप्रैल के महीने में जो वेव आई थी उसमें 26-27 हज़ार केसेस डेली मैक्सिमम तक गए थे, सबसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जब हुई थी। इस बार हमने अपनी तैयारी की है 1 लाख केसेस पर डे अगर होते हैं तो उसके लिए भी हमने तैयारी उसके हिसाब से की है। क्योंकि ये माइल्ड है बहुत ज़्यादा, तो हमारा पूरा एफर्ट ये रहेगा, हम जनता से अपील बार बार ये करेंगे कि आप अपने घर पे रहिए, अस्पताल में मत भागिएगा जब तक कि आपके सिम्टम्स थोड़े वो नहीं होते। तो अगर माइल्ड सिम्टम्स हैं तो आपको हम कोशिश करेंगे आपके घर पे ही, आपके घर के कंफर्ट में आपका इलाज हो। तो हमारा जो पूरा होम आइसोलेशन का मॉड्यूल है उसको हम बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बना रहे हैं।
A joint team of police and CRPF personnel has apprehended 5 persons for smuggling ivory and seized 2 elephant tusks from the possessions at Assam's Madul Jar village on Wednesday. The search operation was conducted jointly by Hauli Police Station, Barbeta Road Police Station and the 10th Battalion of CRPF personnel. 1 car and 3 mobile phones were also seized from them. Rajya Sabha Secretary today said factually incorrect narrative has been presented by certain sections in the matter of stalemate over the suspension of 12 members of the House and adjournments during the session that adjourned sine die on yesterday. Rajya Sabha Secretary General in a statement today said that the chairman urged both sides to resolve the matter amicably through discussion given the stated position of both sides. He said on several occasions in the past, the chairman has expressed concern over strategic disruptions to derail the functioning instead of debating issues under relevant provisions by giving due notices. He said it was recalled that some opposition parties refused to nominate the members on the committee that the chairman proposed to set up to inquire into the incidents of August 11 that led to the suspension of some members. He also said chairman even suggested to government to move a motion for termination of suspension in case such regret was expressed. He also said casting such aspersions amounts to disrespecting and disregarding the institution of the chairman of the House. That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.